Okay, so we continue our discussion on Module 2. So we are done already with culture and religion. So we will now continue with Topic 2, which is Emotivism, feelings and emotions in relation to ethics. Okay, so in the previous topic, we mentioned about culture and religion and how culture and religion influence our actions. No? For example, in the short film, we saw how the people in that community, Jewish community, you know, act in accordance to their culture and religion. So, in fact, there was a scene there. If you observe the presence of the matchmaker, okay, so people in that community behave in such a way, no, that was dictated by their culture and their religion. So we saw in that film, we realized that culture indeed is very important in determining, our actions. However, we also mentioned that culture is not enough, religion is not enough, to assess the morality of human actions. Inadequate. In other words, it is inadequate because culture can change. No? Culture is dynamic; it changes from time to time. Therefore, if something changes, therefore it is unreliable. No? Pabago-bago man. Second, uh, culture is different from place to place, di ba? What is good in one country, in one culture may not be good in another culture. What is bad in one culture may be good in another culture. No? The same with religion. We have different religious practices and different religious beliefs. So therefore, our understanding of what is right and wrong would also vary, would also change depending on our religious perspective. So therefore, religion and culture, although they are powerful forces, no, they can influence our actions. However, they are not enough, inadequate, insufficient in assessing the morality of human actions. So today we will go to the next topic, which is emotions and feelings. No? The same with culture and religion, emotion can also be very powerful. Feelings can also be very powerful. In fact, people act or behave. No, most people act or behave based on their feelings and emotions. No? We hear a lot of people say, "I got carried away by my feelings, by my emotions. Nadala ra ko sa akong emotions. Motong nahimo to nako." Okay? I remember I read a news article before, no? This OFW, the husband was an OFW. Okay? So he worked there for how many years, no? He sent money to his family, to his wife, para masuportahan na iyang pamilya, and he was a good father to them. And one time he realized, no, that he wanted to go home and surprise his wife and his family. No? So he went back to the Philippines, okay? And when he entered their house, their room, he saw his wife with another man. Okay, and his feeling, no, bursted, okay, or erupted. No? His feelings erupted, and uh, he 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 killed both, no? His wife and the man. Okay, and later on he was interviewed by the police. No? Uh, Nagmahay ba ka atong imong gibuhat? Or do you have any remorse? Ingon siya, wala. No? No remorse whatsoever. No regrets. Okay? And he said that he was blinded by his nagdilim ang aking paningin. In Tagalog pa. Nagdilim ang aking paningin. So emotions are very powerful, can be very powerful. Okay? In fact, two people who are deeply in love, di ba? Sometimes we say madly in love, di ba? Because they do things which are beyond reason. No? Mura usay dili na reasonable because they are overwhelmed by their emotions. Okay? So again, emotions can be very powerful. They can influence us to do things which are sometimes irrational. No? Ingon bitaw si Bertrand Russell, no? There are things, no, that there are the heart has reasons that reason could not understand. No? The heart has reason that reason could not understand. That's according to Bertrand Russell. So today we are going to examine how emotions influence our behavior, our actions, and uh, how can we assess, no? Or can we really have a good assessment of our actions based on emotions? Okay. So the first thing that we uh, should discuss here is, of course, some philosophers. No, there are some philosophers who support emotivism. Emotivism is the perspective, is the ethical perspective that your judgment of what is morally right or wrong depends on how you feel about it. So originally, emotivism started with statements or propositions, whether you agree or disagree. No. So according to emotivists, like for example, si the philosopher A.G. Ayer, no? A.J. Ayer, okay, Ayer. According to him, what is morality is simply your agreement or disagreement to certain propositions or sentences. Like for example, when you uh, read or heard the sentence "murder is bad," no, the sentence "murder is bad" or "killing is wrong." So whenever you hear that sentence, it evokes some sense of feelings or emotions. Okay, whether you agree or disagree to that kind of statement. No, murder is bad, killing is wrong. So your agreement or disagreement would depend on your emotions. When you feel bad about that statement, then therefore killing is bad becomes bad. Okay, when you support that statement, when you agree to that to or when you disagree to that statement, then therefore killing becomes good. Okay, so originally this is the origin, no, of emotivism. In other words, emotivism is an ethical belief, no, which states that moral statements only express the feelings or the speaker's feelings about the issue. So moral statements only express the speaker's feelings about the issue. Okay. So when you say, for example, uh, euthanasia is okay, so how do you feel about that statement? How do you feel about that proposition? So when you agree, when you feel that it is good, then it's good. Feelings based on your feelings of agreement or disagreement. So that is basically the origin of uh, emotivism. Okay. Later on, this was developed by other philosophers, no? Like for example here, David Hume, no? According to David Hume, reason alone cannot be a motive of the will. So it's not enough that we use reason alone. No, we also need to use our feelings whenever we do certain actions. Okay, like for example, when you say stealing is bad, you could not really understand or comprehend this, statement if you have not experienced, no, being, you know, uh, stolen, no. If you have not experienced uh, of kanang gikawatan juga. Okay? So you can only relate to that statement stealing is bad if you have experienced na gikawatan juga, nawad-an ka. Okay? So it becomes more meaningful because you have experience and you can feel, no? You can relate what it means nga mawad-an og butang tungod kay gikawatan. Okay? So in this way feelings emotivism has something to do with your approval or disapproval. Okay? Next is about na siya pros and cons, no? We now take a look at the pros and cons of relying on feelings for our moral actions, no? As I've mentioned, makatabang siya tungod kay some of the advantages of relying on our feeling is that it makes us aware that ethics is not just about brain lang, reason lang, no? Ethics should also involve about our heart also, about emotions, no? Emotivism encourages us to feel, the other people's suffering also. Number two, it develops a person's sense of empathy. We learn to empathize, to feel the other person's suffering. Number three, it encourages sensitivity towards other people. We become more sensitive to other people. And number four, emotions help us learn from our mistakes. Emotions can serve as red flags, no? Warning ba nga, sayop na kay mura, especially our gut feeling, no? What our kutob, in Filipino we call that kutob. Masama ang kutob ko. So therefore, uh, our feelings can teach us very important things, no? Regarding ethics also. Okay? How do you feel about certain situations? However, na po siya mga flaws or negative, no, elements. Okay? Mga downsides sa emotivism. One of these is emotions show partiality. So, in other words, it enhances or enforces subjectivism. No? So, what you feel, if you feel that it is good, then it is good. If you feel that it is bad, then it is bad. Okay? So, it is very subjectivist. Partial, very partial. Okay? Dili siya universal. Number two, emotions draw our perspective away. So, it encourages yung ano ba, yung narrow uh, looking of or outlook of reality, no? And then number three, emotions are capricious, meaning emotions change from time to time, no? Pwede man nga karong buntag okay kayo mo feelings, karong buntag malipayon ka, no? uh, Full of spirits ka, no? Pero pag abot sa hapon kalit lang kag sapot, no? So nausab imong emotions, nausab imong feelings, mausab po imong disposition sa kinabuhi, mausab po imong treatment sa uban. Okay? So matinga na lang imong mga kauban nga, so to siya nga, maayo man kito siya ganang buntag. Kalit ra magka usab pagkahapon, no? So emotions changes. So therefore it is unreliable. We could not rely on feelings and emotions, no, in determining or in assessing the morality of our human actions. Okay? So the same with culture, the same with religion, feelings or emotions are inadequate in assessing the morality of our human actions. Although helpful sila, kay so of course pwede ma-develop atong compassion, atong charity, generosity, diha man na magsugod, no? Because of our feelings towards other people, di ba? Love, for example, no? Our concern for others, pwede diha mag-start, mag-develop. Okay? Pero on the other hand, napod siya yung mga negative na mga elements, no? Nga di pwedeng gamiton. Feelings could never be a reliable source of morality. That's why we say feelings, culture, and religion are inadequate in assessing the morality of our human actions. Okay, so thank you very much. And for our next video, I will discuss ethical subjectivism. Okay.